special interview? Okay.
So, we have a special interview? Wow, that's interesting.
I literally knew that my family was freaking insecure of, like, really an exclusive interview without me? Let me have my own. Give me the questions. Okay. As an economics major, I believe that this course gave me the basic yet important information that I need, like in math as a language. The wrong grammar might give others the wrong idea.
I am very much attracted to art involving the golden ratio and the golden spiral, especially in photography. I don't think anyone isn't, but it makes me wonder though, do we appreciate the golden ratio because it's everywhere? Or is the golden ratio an inherently aesthetically pleasing proportion?
Additionally, mathematical principles enable messages to be sent and decoded securely within seconds, allowing us to stay connected in a data-driven world. Whether analyzing the economy or sending secure communications, math is the invisible force ensuring everything operates smoothly.
As the manager of the family, consumer math was practical. It discusses the complexities of real-world responsibilities. It helped me understand the importance of financial intelligence, about credit cards, interest, loans. Efficiency, on the other hand, was also practical, especially if we're handling businesses or navigating the shortest path.
And decision making ties it all together, using data and models to evaluate options, balance opportunity cost, and make choices that create the greatest benefits for everyone.
In math as a language, the one that struck me was the importance of the smallest detail in a sentence, like the proper use of conjunctions, because most of us don't really care, and it matters not just in conversations but also in daily happenings.
For the arts, the golden ratio was the one I appreciated the most. It strikes me how we find certain systematic things beautiful. It's also kind of creepy if you think about it. Like, we have a certain programming for things, but at the same time, if math can make something beautiful, then I don't see the problem.
I was also fascinated by how spies use math to protect sensitive information. Cryptography, for example, allows them to send hidden messages that only intended recipients can decode, showcasing the real-world application of concepts I once thought were only in spy movies.
Consumer math explained, or business math explained, the need to calculate and manage your spending to be a good creditor and enjoy your money responsibly, and for efficiency. I was very interested in learning about how businesses minimize their costs and maximize their profits. As Chris Jenner, I handle most family businesses, so it was very crucial to me. Although that what we presented was somehow different, it still tackled minimizing the cost by calculating the cost per wear and the intricacies of how emotions affect our decision making.
In decision making, I was intrigued by the different methods of voting. I initially thought that most voting processes were based on popularity, but I learned that this isn't always the case. There are various methods, each with own way of considering preferences and ensuring more balanced outcome.
Our discussions were fun as it was inspirational and easy to understand because Ms. Hernandez used real-life situations that made the topics easier for me to digest and apply in the real-world setting.
The concepts we talked about were everyday things you would not really consider the math aspect for. It's nice to know how these seemingly straightforward and common sense things require a great deal of analysis. There weren't really concepts that were hard to grasp, but there were some that did need quite a lot of practice to get a hang of, which is also quite enjoyable because it just makes sense.
The concepts covered in this course were eye-opening, highlighting the critical role of math in everyday situations. Even simple ideas require deeper analysis. While the topics weren't complex, some needed practice to grasp, which was enjoyable. I appreciated Ms. Hernandez's use of real-world experiences, making the material feel relevant and practical.
The lessons in this course were really helpful. No, not only did it provide empirical knowledge, but also interesting facts like the different voting methods that is not applicable in the Philippines. But I would say the lessons were challenging because it requires extra work to understand them all, but overall, it's practically really hard.
Learning the concept in this course feels less like solving numbers and more like discussing life. I found some concept easier to grasp, like seeing math as a universal language. This perspective make it more approachable. However, I struggled with the chapter on communication, where there are so many terms and ideas and keys can be overwhelming and confusing.
Okay, next. The topic that I'm interested in now is investing in stocks. Maybe because I see a lot of people do it. And our class made a mock investment thing in Instagrams, and my stocks never really gained anything because they were so I am genuinely curious how it will turn out and how would I feel if I use my own hard-earned money.
I am now more curious about the golden spiral, especially in how it's used in photography. Personally, I am developing my own photography skills and trying to develop an eye for things. So learning about the golden spiral just shows me a new perspective on how I can learn how professional photographers compose their pictures, which is really useful for learning this new skill.
I've become curious about odds and probabilities, mainly how they apply to real-life situations such as sports and daily decision-making. I've always been intrigued by how chance affects outcomes, but learning the mathematics behind it has motivated me to explore further. As I reflect on how probabilities influence everything from games of chance to financial decisions, I am excited to discover how to apply this knowledge to understand risks better and make more informed choices.
Now, Ms. Hernandez taught us the basics of investing. I was suddenly interested because, investing in stock market, let's face it, we won't be able to work until we're 80s or something. So, investing would really mean a lot in the future. It's true that money is, of course, a limited resource, and we should therefore be smart about where we put it.
I've become particularly curious about credit cards. After learning about them from Ms. Hernandez, I feel intrigued and want to explore how they work, especially how they can be used responsibly in the future.
So last question. The 3 words that would describe this course for me would be fun, essential, and memorable because it was interactive, and despite the suspensions and online classes, I learned a lot, especially with the different learning materials and styles that Ms. Hernandez had. So I really had a good time in this course.
3 words: shocked, inspired, and proud of what we're able to do in math.
My 3 words will be curious, challenge, and fulfill.
The 3 words that describe my experiences in the course is first, dynamic, where everything constantly changes. Second is realistic, the concept are directly applicable to daily life. And lastly, empowering. It gives me the knowledge to make better financial